So then once you're done with that, you're going to rotate your head forward from one shoulder to the other. Do that for about 10 times. This is a dynamic stretch for your neck. Okay, so now we're done with our neck stretches. We're gonna move into the spine. So what I want you to do is actually snake your head from forward to back, but actually go as far forward and as far back as you can. This is a dynamic stretch for your spine. It's gonna get your spine really warmed up, and it should feel really good. You can actually use your hands to press onto your thighs. That will give you a little help coming forward and back. Make sure to bend your legs every time you come forward and every time you come back. So next we're going to move on to our hip rotations. Do not feel funny or crazy doing this. This is amazing activation for your hip joint. It's isolations of each of your hips. So you're going to start on your right, do about 5 to 10 rounds, and then move on to the left. Once you're finished with your hip rotations, step your feet together and raise your arms overhead, clasping your hands together. Next, I want you to grab your right hand and lean to the left. You should be actively pushing your shoulders down. Your knees should not be locked but slightly bent, and you should be tilting your rib cage upward to the ceiling instead of downward. Look to the ceiling if you want to get a deeper stretch in your rib cage, and hold each side for about 10 breaths. We use breaths because breathing deeply during stretches brings more oxygen to the muscle groups and helps you get deeper into the stretch. When you're finished with both sides, clasp your hands together overhead, creating an L shape with your index finger and your thumb. Actively press your shoulders down and create space in between your rib cage by pulling your ribs up and in. Now actively look to the ceiling and begin your standing back bend. Hold this for about 5 breaths. When you're finished with your back bend, step your feet out to about hips width distance apart. Bend your knees and begin to swing your upper body from side to side while actively pressing your shoulders down. Next, we move on to more dynamic stretching. Start in a forward fold with your fingertips or your palms touching the ground. First, bend your knees and contract your head to your knees. Then straighten them, snake your head up, and end in a halfway lift. Do this for about 2 times. Then come onto your tippy toes. Bend your knees and contract your head to tuck into your knees. Actively press your shoulders down during this pose as well. Hold in crouching toe pose for about 3 breaths. Step your feet out to about hips width distance apart. Bend your knees and place the palms of your hands underneath your feet so your toes are touching your wrists. Start with your knees bent. This will really help you to actually be able to touch the ground when you do a forward fold for those of you who are trying to reach that goal. Actively breathe while attempting to straighten the legs and press the shoulders down. Bend and straighten the legs. and hold in the straightest position at the end. The next pose is a foot stretch called Screaming Toe Pose, and it sucks. So don't say I didn't warn you, but it's very effective. So you're gonna start on your knees, seated on your feet, and then come up to your toes. Then sit back down onto your heels and press your toes into the ground. Breathing is gonna be really helpful here, so breathe here for 10 deep breaths. Come into a plank pose and shift your weight so your hips are facing up to the sky. Actively press your shoulders down and maybe walk your feet in just a bit so that your heels are touching the ground or almost touching. Actively press your shoulders down while rotating your elbows to the ground. Shift your weight from one foot to the other. Make sure to press your toes into the ground as you do this to stretch out your feet. After you've shifted your weight for about 10 times, choose one leg to lift high to the sky, keeping your hips square. Keeping your opposite heel planted firmly on the ground, lift your leg up and down 10 times and then pulse for 10 at the top. Make sure you're rotating your elbows downward to the floor while pressing your shoulders down as well and keeping your core tight. Next is pyramid pose. In this pose, we use heel to arch alignment. So if you've never done it before, make sure you start with your heel at your arch and then slide the foot out until you are in a triangle shape or until you feel the stretch. After you've found your heel to arch alignment and slid your leg out, make sure that your hips are square before you fold forward. Once you've folded forward, place your palms on the ground. If you have to bend your leg to do this, that's okay, but just make sure that you're actively trying to touch your nose to your shin. If you're a level 2, take one hand and grab your leg and actively pull yourself towards your leg. If you're a level 3, take both hands, grab your leg, and actively pull yourself in closer towards your leg. Repeat this on both sides. After you've completed both sides, begin to shift your weight from forward to back. As you bend your back knee, your front foot flexes. You always keep your front leg straight, and as you come forward, make sure to lift your back heel off the ground. Try to get your hands to touch the ground as you come forward and back. After you've shifted your weight about 10 times, step your back leg forward and begin to do the other side. Step one of your feet up to meet your hands and bring both hands on the inside of your front foot. Now begin to rotate your hips clockwise and then counterclockwise. After you've done both directions, begin to shift your weight forward and back. Take a deep breath and lift up in your rib cage and begin to lean back into a back bend towards the wall behind you. Come back to center and plant the hand on the inside of your legs on the ground and reach towards that hand so you can get a side body stretch. Do the same on the opposite side, planting the hand on the outside of your body on the ground. You should feel a stretch in your hip flexor, your quad, and the hamstring of the front leg. Once you've done both sides, you can reach your opposite arm to your front knee to twist your body. Make sure that you're looking in the direction that your body is twisting. If you can't quite grab your knee, you can always leave your arms outstretched. Make sure that your core is tight. Next, we'll do a dynamic lunging sequence. Start in a lunge with your back leg straight. Now come down onto your back knee and straighten your front leg into a half split. Make sure that your hips are square this entire time and your core is tight. Do this back and forth for about 5 times, and on the 5th time, hold in your half splits position. Keep your hips square and try to bring your nose to your knee, or if you're a level 2-3, bring your nose to your shin. Keep the front foot flexed. After you've held in your half splits, come back to your lunge and reach your opposite arm to the sky. Next is a runner's lunge, which means that your hands come to the inside of your legs. If you're a level 1, it might just be enough for you to stay upright on your hands, but if you're a level 2, try to make your way down to your elbows. If you're a level 3, come down to your elbows and then straighten your back knee. Step one of your feet up to meet your hands and bring both hands on the inside of your front foot. Now begin to rotate your hips clockwise and then counterclockwise. The This is called standing frog pose. Start with your feet about hips width distance apart. Angle your feet outward to either wall. And then sink your hips down to seat yourself in between both of your feet. If you can, put both of your hands together in between your legs and use your elbows to actively press your knees outwards. Let's move on to our Skandasana side lunge sequence. Angle both of your feet outward and step a wide lunge out to the side. Begin to move side to side with one leg straight as the other bends. Both of your feet should be angled outwards into the side walls. Sit your body down onto one side with both of your hands out in front of you to help you balance. The foot of your straight leg should be flexed up to the sky. If you can, sit yourself all the way down onto the floor. If you're a level 1, try to reach up and over to the straightened leg, keeping the bent leg in as close as possible to your other side body. If you're a level 2, try to use your opposite arm to grab the flexed foot. And if you're a level 3, try to grab the ankle of the bent leg and the toes of the flexed foot. Do this on both sides. And if you can't grab your foot, then just hover your arm above it. If you're a level 3, you can take it a step deeper and look to the ceiling while opening your rib cage up to the ceiling, keeping both holds. Once you've stretched both your IT bands, come back to center and reach your arms forward into a forward fold. If you're a level 1 and you cannot touch your hands to your toes, start with your legs bent and use your index fingers to grab onto your big toes and pull yourself forward. If you're a level 2-3, grab onto the backs of your flexed feet and begin to pull yourself forward. Next is laying figure 4 pose. Start with both legs off the ground in a 90-degree angle, feet up, facing the ceiling. Grab one leg and place the foot directly above the knee, not on it because that's unsafe. Bend the straightened leg as well and reach around to grab behind the knee and clasp your hands to pull both of your legs towards your body. If you're a level 2-3, you can re-straighten the leg and grab at the calf or the ankle and pull your legs closer to your body. Deep stretch variation of figure 4 is to lay with your glutes on the wall and both of your legs on the wall as well. Repeat the same motion, put one leg directly over the knee, but with the straightened leg, begin to bend it and press against the wall and use that tension to bring your legs towards your body. Next is happy baby. This posture helps to relieve tension in your lower back. Start laying on your back, legs to the sky. Begin to part your legs, knees bent, and grab the inside arches of your feet. Start to rock back and forth, massaging out your lower back. After you've finished rocking back and forth, hold happy baby. If you're a level 1, kick your heels into your hands and try to straighten your legs as much as you can. If you're a level 2, 3, straighten your legs and begin to pull them down to the ground. And if you can, touch the ground with your feet. Start laying on your back and prop yourself up onto your elbows. Flex your feet and begin to kick them one at a time. As you kick each leg towards your face, make sure to actively press your shoulders down and keep your core tight. Scoot your hands underneath your glutes to support your lower back. And begin to kick your legs, this time feet pointed for the first 5 and then flexed for the last 5. Keeping one leg straight, bring the other knee to your chest and rotate your foot, pointing and flexing it. Clockwise, then counterclockwise, 5 times each. Now for our leg extensions. Straighten your leg and flex your foot back towards your face. If you're a level 1, grab on to your calf or your ankle. Just try to get to the lowest point on your leg. If you're a level 2, grab the inside arch of your foot with your opposite hand. And if you're a level 3, grab the foot with both hands and pull it back to your face. Next, grab the inner arch of your foot and begin to bring the leg out to the side. If you're a level 1, simply try to straighten the knee. Level 2, try to straighten the knee and then pull the leg down to the ground. If you're a level 3, grab the foot or the ankle with the opposite hand and pull the leg in towards your body and push it down to the ground with your opposite free hand. Last but not least is your splits hold. I know so many of you have been waiting for this part of the sequence. If you're a level 1, make sure that you have 2 inanimate objects that you can hold on to. If you don't have blocks, you can use chairs. Make sure that you start in your half splits so that you can square your hips off before you descend into your split. Once you've descended into your split and your hips are square, hold for 20 seconds to a minute. You can come out if you need to, but make sure you're breathing the entire time. Deep inhales and deep exhales help to deepen the stretch. If you're a level 2 or 3 and you've already achieved your full split and would like to go deeper, I would suggest by start using pillows to elevate your front leg and then your back knee. Hold in your oversplits for at least 1 minute, taking deep breaths. If you would like to go deeper, you can actually reach forward and grab your foot with your opposite hand. If you are in your oversplit with your back knee elevated on a pillow or blocks and you would like to go deeper, you can always bend your back leg in towards your body for a quad stretch. If you really want to challenge yourself, you can try to grab the back leg with one hold your or both for hands a minute while arching your back and pulling your foot to your head, hitting those splits by the end of this challenge.